What's going on, Jeromes? So, as you know, Jerome, Ezekiel Cousins, the Tin Pot Pizza Ranch dictator. Sometimes he's the Kirk locker, sometimes he's Kirklander. Who really knows? But Kirk Cousins played the best ball of his career last year, and he's letting it ride, not signing an extension. Vikings sort of at an impasse. And Kirk, if he balls out this year, is slated to be a free agent next offseason. His contract will void. There's void years on the back end of his deal. The Vikings will have to absorb $20.5 million dead against the cap next year if it does happen. And also, they can't franchise tag him because the franchise tag window closes before the contract officially voids. So Kirk could be free as a bird now, and there will be teams interested, even though Kirk will be 35 years young next offseason if he does indeed ball out this year, which I think that he will. And Kirk, of course, hopefully is going to have better protection this year, even though he did have a career year last year. But reportedly, the Rams and the Niners, two potential powers in the NFC West, could be in competition for Kirk's services, and even calling it a tug-of-war. This is from USA Today. It isn't often that a franchise caliber quarterback, blah, 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 blah. However, one such quarterback could potentially be available next offseason, and Kirk Cousins of the Minnesota Vikings. Cousins, who is entering the final year of his contract in Minnesota, has tabled extension discussions until next March, which is where the Los Angeles Rams could come in. In a recent episode of The Rich Eisen Show, PFT's Mike Florio stated his belief that there could be a battle between the Rams and an NFC West foe for the veteran quarterback services. Quote, I think you're going to see, unless the Vikings resign him by then, a potential tug-of-war between Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay for Kirk Cousins next March. Florio said, mark that down. End quote. Woo! So, es muy caliente, because everyone knows about the Kirk Cousins, Kyle Shanahan connection. They go way back like chiropractic. The Shanahan were the ones that drafted Kirk in the 4th round 2012 after they traded up heaven and earth to go get RG3. So that bond has always been tight, and there's always been talk about Kirk's deal ending here with the Vikings and then him signing with the Niners and all that stuff. And the only reason that the Niners weren't in on Kirk when he was a free agent in 2018 is because they had just traded for Jimmy Garoppolo in 2017. So, whatever. But people do forget that Sean McVay made his bones in Washington. He was the last time before this year with Kevin O'Connell that Kirk Cousins had the same play caller 2 years in a row during his couple final seasons in Washington. So they, of course, go way back. And also, McVay got the best out of Kirk Cousins. Went to the Pro Bowl, went to the playoffs and all that stuff, won the division, blah, blah, blah. So looking at their current quarterback situation. So the Niners, they do have Sam Darnold, who they picked up off the scrap heap. It's a clear mama, I can change him situation. Brock Purdy is down in Jacksonville testing out his elbow, is starting to throw. So we'll see what happens when he's trying to come back from that UCL injury, where he was perfectly competent last season, guiding the Niners deep into the playoffs and didn't really make any mistakes, was distributing the football, did okay. Trey Lance, the former number 3 overall pick, they're not ready to give up on because that would be admitting defeat, as well as veteran Brandon Allen is in camp with the Niners. For the Rams, so the Rams had just extended Matt Stafford last offseason after they allegedly won the Super Bowl with Kevin O'Connell. And then also they spent a 4th round pick on Stetson Bennett, and then also the ageless one, Brett Rippon. Actually, not ageless, but the pride of Boise State is there, as well as Dresser Wynn. I don't know. That sounds like that sounds like a furniture store, but anyways. But Stafford, it would be a little bit complicated with Stafford because they can't really cut him because they would have a significant amount dead against the cap, and they can't really trade him because of a similar spot. So it would have to be, I don't know, Stafford retiring, even though they still would have dead cap there too. So I don't really know. It does seem like the Niners would be a more logical spot unless they're all in on Brock Purdy or Sam Darnold gets off the canvas, or same thing with Trey Lance. But either way, there's a long way to go, and I do believe that Kirk Cousins is going to have a phenomenal year here with the Vikings. I think that he and the Vikes will see that they're better together and they'll work something out long term because, as good as the Niners are, as good as the Rams are, they don't have Justin Jefferson, even though respect to Debo and Kittle and respect to Cooper Kupp. Ain't no Justin Jefferson, ain't no TJ Hawkinson, ain't no Christian Darrisaw, ain't no Jordan Addison hanging out there. All right, so I do think that the Vikings and Kirk will work something out long term, but it would be super interesting where to see teams fawning over Kirk Cousins if he does indeed become a free agent, but I guess we'll see. Man. But your thoughts are thoughts. Reportedly, the Niners and the Rams could be in a tug-of-war for Kirk Cousins if he indeed becomes a free agent next offseason. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.